funny now, but I know it ain't funny to her because yeah, she's been awkwardly quiet. She didn't congratulate the team for whatever reason. And yeah, people was definitely poking fun at her online. Let's go to Bonner. Somebody said, I know Dewanna Bonner sitting at home, big mad, like, I know she is, bro. I know she hella mad right now. 50K going down the drain. Somebody said, breaking news, Dewanna Bonner somewhere punching the air right now. Fever become the Commissioner Cup champion. Now, somebody said, if this the locker room Dewanna Bonner was talking about, I'll go to war for them. Now, this is some of the stuff that happened. Like,
oh, okay. Yeah.
They was twerking and
well, there she is.
Where's Kelsey?
Kelsey left. Kelsey! Yeah, come on, get on.
They said Miss Bonner.
Please said it's the school night. Please. Tell who said that? Hey, if you're one of my friends and you're on here, comment. Miss you. I don't know if any of my friends are on here. Whoa, bro. Absolutely not. No, thank you.
We just witnessed one of the most beautifully timed moments of instant karma in WNBA history as the Indiana Fever, without their so-called veteran leader who quit on them mid-season, pulled off the biggest upset of the year by conquering the Commissioner's Cup and walking away with a $500,000 prize pool that Dewanna Bonner will never touch, not even a single cent. This isn't just about winning a game, it's about redemption, vindication, and watching a player who believes she could quit on a team and still win slowly realize she gave up the best chance of her career. All while sitting on her couch, watching the celebration on a screen instead of holding the trophy in her hands.
She couldn't fit with the rotations of the team. She's upset that Lexi Hall took her spot. That's the truth. Little blonde girl from next door, took her spot. That's what it was. Well, Lexi Hall is a good basketball player. I think she earned that spot, in my opinion, and she's shooting very well from the three. She's an excellent three-point shooter this season. She's a sniper this season. And she hustles. She gets rebounds. She gets steals. She puts her heart out.
Go, boy! The beast is finally back, man. Somebody that waited patiently and wanted to be here, man. Get that string bean, paper clip built as Dewanna Bonner up out of here. That's why you got waived. And we brought back Miss Ari McDonald, who made more of an impact on the hardship deal than your goofy ass did the few games that you played, Goofy. Ari is lit, man.
Earn it through their play.
Also don't really believe that. Now, as we know, Dewanna Bonner has not been that productive for the Fever in general. I don't think her departure will change much on the trajectory that we have seen. I think she could have probably been more productive for them later on, but we'll never know.
Dewanna Bonner left the Indiana Fever in June, claiming the fit wasn't right, and nobody, not fans, not analysts, not even the front office, could have imagined that her exit would align perfectly with the most iconic and historic victory in Fever franchise history. Indiana didn't just beat the Minnesota Lynx, a 14-2 powerhouse that led the league in offensive efficiency. They dominated them 74-59 in their own building, holding them to their lowest point total all season, and proving once and for all that they don't need egos or excuses, they need warriors. Bonner, who was brought in on a $200,000 contract to be a veteran presence and a leader, fell apart the moment she was benched for poor performance. Just 2.6 points on 2 of 12 shooting across her first 3 games. And instead of stepping up, she walked away, missing 5 games under the vague label of personal reasons, which fans now clearly understand as, my feelings got hurt.
If you guys don't know, obviously, Dewanna Bonner was a player for the Fever, and she's currently a player for absolutely nobody. She's currently a player for nobody. She's currently a player for YMCA Basketball Club, where she's getting her workout. Every team that wants to go and sign Bonner also wants to sign Emma, and Emma's a better player. Emma is the better player, so they straight up, they're out here using Dewanna Bonner as a consolation prize, and until the signing for Emma Messiman is sorted, it does not appear like she's going to be signed by anyone.
She didn't show up for the team, didn't show up to the bench, didn't fight for a spot or prove her worth. She pouted, she bailed, and she made it clear if things didn't revolve around her, she wasn't interested in staying. Meanwhile, Aari McDonald, who joined the Fever on a hardship contract after being cut by the LA Sparks, showed the exact opposite mindset, playing with heart, humility, and hunger, earning her place in the rotation and ultimately playing hero in the Commissioner's Cup final with 12 points, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, and 2 crucial blocks in 25 minutes of clutch basketball. McDonald, who was released and re-signed just days before the championship, didn't ask for special treatment, didn't whine about playing time. She showed up, earned her minutes, and delivered on the biggest stage, becoming a fan favorite and a symbol of everything Bonner failed to be.
I don't care what nobody says, bro. She's a quitter. Well, I'm telling you right now, a lot of people is definitely poking fun at her online for missing out on $50,000, bro. Now, if you guys did not notice, the Indiana Fever winning the Commissioner Cup grants each player on the basketball team a $50,000 bonus. And unfortunately, Dewanna Bonner will not receive that same amount of love because, you want to know why? Because she quit the damn contenders, bro. They just won the Commissioner Cup. Somebody said Dewanna Bonner is washed up. And me personally, see, this is not getting talked about, right? What's not getting talked about is actually this. How about Aari McDonald being more valuable than Dewanna Bonner? Aari McDonald having a bigger impact on his basketball team than the two-time WNBA champion, Aari McDonald. Then the two-time WNBA champion.
Her story is a masterclass in resilience, averaging 11 points, 3 assists, and 2 steals in her first 3 games with the team. And when the lights were brightest and the Fever needed someone to step up, it was McDonald who rose, not Bonner who ran. Let's not forget how massive this victory really was. The Minnesota Lynx were expected to steamroll the Fever, boasting the league's top record and playing in front of their home crowd, with Vegas, ESPN, and nearly every analyst picking them as easy winners over an 8-8 Indiana squad missing Caitlin Clark due to injury. But the Fever didn't flinch. Instead, they responded to early adversity with an 18-0 run in the second quarter that completely flipped the script, locking down one of the league's most explosive offenses and proving that heart, chemistry, and leadership can outweigh reputation and stardom any day. And even though Caitlin Clark couldn't play due to a groin injury, she was there in every timeout, in every huddle, offering guidance, support, and energy, showing leadership that Bonner never once provided, even when she was healthy and active.
The Indiana Fever are sipping the sweet nectar of the Commissioner's Cup. Now, I've been saying that the Fever are formidable, even through the struggles so far this season, Caitlin Clark being out with injury, obviously. That's because the addition of Aari McDonald and the switch with Dewanna Bonner is a big boost for this team. That's because I've seen other trends that point in the right direction. Obviously, Aaliyah Boston is a star. Kelsey Mitchell continues to thrive. They got that production from Natasha Howard that was missing to the tune of Commissioner's Cup MVP. Role players stepped up. Sophie Cunningham, Lexi Hull's been there all season. You put that together with a healthy CC, and I do think the WNBA has to still watch out for the Indiana Fever.
Clark didn't sulk, didn't make the moment about her. She cheered from the sidelines, stayed engaged with her teammates, and after the final buzzer, she celebrated their victory with genuine joy, writing "My girls did their thing" on social media in a moment that reminded everyone what selfless leadership looks like. As Lexi Hull, Sydney Colson, and Sophie Cunningham shared laughs and hugs during the trophy ceremony, Clark stayed in the background, smiling, letting her teammates soak in the spotlight, something Bonner was never willing to do. And now, let's talk about the money, because this is where karma stings the hardest. Every Fever player walked away with nearly $42,000 in cash, plus $5,000 in cryptocurrency courtesy of Coinbase, and MVP Natasha Howard earned an extra $5,000 bonus for her 16-point, 12-rebound performance. Bonner, who was supposed to make $200,000 this season, just watched her former teammates pocket nearly a quarter of her salary in one night.
Aari McDonald, 12 points. She played well as well. 12 points, 2 blocks, 3 rebounds for Aari McDonald, 5 for 6 from the field. Aari McDonald and Sophie Cunningham, from an efficiency standpoint, they had themselves quite the ball game. Sophie Cunningham, 4 for 6 from the field, 3 for 5 from the 3-point line, 13 points, 7 rebounds off the bench for Sophie Cunningham. Stephanie White saw something from Sophie that she didn't like seeing so much from Lexi Hall, and Lexi Hall only played 15 minutes, giving a majority of that time to Sophie Cunningham. At the end of the day, it worked. But the Indiana Fever go up 9-6 early in the first quarter. The Minnesota Lynx go on a 12-0 run, taking the lead. So maybe this is when they, the Fever, the Lynx dominate the Fever to win the, maybe that's when they thought it was a good idea, but they didn't realize that Stephanie White called a timeout after that, and the Indiana Fever went on a 14-0 run themselves, took the lead, and didn't look back from that point on. This wasn't the prettiest game, this wasn't the most exciting game, but this was a game that a lot of people wrote the Indiana Fever off. Without Caitlin Clark, a lot of people said the Indiana Fever have absolutely no chance.
A bonus she would have earned had she simply stuck around and honored her commitment. Now she's reportedly trying to land with Phoenix or Atlanta, 2 teams not even close to Indiana's championship trajectory. And she's doing it for the veteran minimum, a massive downgrade in both pay and prestige. Meanwhile, McDonald, who signed a contract worth just over $53,000, now holds nearly that same value in bonus money from one game, a reward she earned with nothing but grit, hustle, and heart. This victory isn't just a box score, it's a full circle moment for the Indiana Fever, a team that entered the season questioned, criticized, and doubted, and now stands shoulder to shoulder with the Liberty Aces and Lynx as legitimate championship contenders.
You know, some of the other aspects of that, like I said, you had the plays within the game. You had Kelsey Mitchell finding Sophie Cunningham on this play for a big 3 that led to a CC celebration. Cunningham's cut off in the angle. See, there she is. And there's Caitlin Clark. Sophie Cunningham.
And for Dewanna Bonner, that could be an absolute disaster. And like, she's already cost herself, what, 50 grand? Between the guts of 40 grand they make from the Commissioner's Cup and the at least 10 grand she's cost herself from lost salary from not playing those, from being unemployed for a couple of times, and then for the rest of the year, it's going to cost herself another 50 grand. She's going to cost herself about 100 grand because she didn't think the fit was correct.
Rebecca Lobo, once skeptical of their depth and chemistry, now calls them a title threat, and rightfully so, because they just beat the best without their biggest name, relying instead on fighters like McDonald, leaders like Natasha Howard, anchors like Aaliyah Boston, and rising stars like Kelsey Mitchell. The Fever are a team reborn, not because of who they added, but because of who they lost. Bonner represented the old guard of the WNBA, veterans who were fine playing in half-empty arenas, cashing checks, and avoiding the spotlight, but Clark changed everything, bringing sellout crowds, national TV deals, and a new era of accountability. Some veterans embraced the spotlight, others resented it. Bonner chose to walk away from greatness the moment it demanded more from her, and as she fades from relevance, the Fever rise with players who welcome the pressure. This wasn't just a win, it was a warning to the rest of the league. This Fever team isn't built on names or narratives, it's built on sacrifice, chemistry, and belief. And as Bonner looks for her next contract, her next team, her next excuse, she'll be haunted by the fact that she could have been part of history, part of the team that finally turned the corner after more than a decade in the dark. Instead, she'll watch from a distance as McDonald flourishes in the role she left behind, as Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston grow into one of the most feared duos in basketball, and as the Indiana Fever march into the playoffs with something Bonner can never reclaim: respect. Because here's the truth, champions don't walk away when it gets tough. They show up, they fight, they sacrifice, they believe, and when the confetti falls, they stand with their teammates, not in the shadows of what could have been, but in the light of what they earned. Bonner didn't just lose a bonus or a game, she lost her place in something special. And that's the brutal beauty of karma. It doesn't always take its time. Sometimes it shows up in the fourth quarter, with the scoreboard lit, and your name nowhere in sight. Because if you quit on greatness, greatness will always leave you behind.